Shalom. My name is Michael Alabab, which is Hebrew for Michael. Now we at one west. Sorry, we at one west. No, sorry, Salakia. I'm at 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn. 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn. We're at the House of David Church. I don't know where that one west came from. 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn. House of David Church. It's a Sabbath, so we're going to have a good class tonight, most high willing. Last time I was up, and that was a few weeks ago, we did Esau and Jacob. Now, what I'm going to cover today is Isaac and Ishmael. The reason why I'm going into this is now is the time for Israel to get their house in order. A lot of you brothers out there caught up in that Islamic stuff, you need to put that away. You ain't got nothing to do with the Muslims. That whole Muslim trip ran out of gas. It started with the 5%ers. That ran out of gas. Then you had the Ansar Allah community. That ran out of gas. Then you had Louis Farrakhan with the Nation of Islam. That ran out of gas. That ran out of gas to the point they had to hook up with Esau's Scientology. Then what happened? The whole church system fell apart. So where you black men and women going with Islam? That got nothing to do with you. We're going to go into the Bible and clear up this problem you have holding on to Islam. And here's the wild part about it. When you look at the so-called Muslims, majority of them are Edomites. It tells you Esau had 12 sons. You think the Edomites running around here in America and in Europe, that's it? No, he had 12 sons. The people over there in the Middle East with the oil and the wealth, those are not Ishmael's seed. That's Esau's seed because they're in the power seat. Okay? Let's shed some light on this thing. Genesis 17.
Genesis 17
Start at the first verse.
And verse 1. And when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the almighty power. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
Right. Now, at this point, he's not Abraham, he's Abram. He becomes Abraham after the covenant is established. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and the power walked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Right, the Most High, so you can understand. The Most High himself, through the Spirit, is speaking with Abram. Okay? Some people say, if he's speaking to the Most High, isn't he looking at him? And the scripture said, no man sees the face of the Most High. People get caught up in all these little technicalities. You got to understand something. All this was written for our comfort later on. The Bible is the comforter. You have people in TikTok looking for little discrepancies in the Bible and say, see, that's a mistake. That Bible is wrong, it's false. No, it's not. Picture yourself in the middle of an ocean and you're trying to get a life preserver. Spiritually, this Bible is our life preserver. Why? Yahweh Shai ain't on the scene no more. He did his part. He was the sacrifice. When you go to after he was on the cross, he took his last breath. That's in Matthew 27. Okay. He died. He came back 3 days later. Now, after that, he was on the earth for how long? 40 days. After the 40 days, what happened? The angels came down, picked up Yahweh Shai, and they left. Where did he go at that point? He went back to the Father. He completed his mission. Now, people look for all these little, that's not right and that's not right. This book is accurate. Time permitting, I'm going to show you just how accurate this book is. Okay, this is showing you how Israel becomes the chosen people. Now, they have different people in the family. They're overlooked. Why? The Most High is not dealing with them. So you figure, oh, they're part of the family. That means it's like a family coverage. No, this ain't life insurance. It's the Most High with its covenant. It only goes to who he wants it to go to. Okay, that's why you got to read this Bible and get the understanding. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abraham, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee.
Right, and at that point, the covenant is established with him. So when you read, well, in the first verse, when it's Abram, the covenant's not established yet. When the covenant is established, his name is changed to Abraham. Same with his wife. Her name is changed. Go ahead.
6. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Right.
And
so what the Most High is showing you, he's the one that has the absolute power over everything. Hold that for a second and get Proverbs 8:15. Show you how the Most High is wielding his power.
Proverbs 8 and verse 15. By me, kings reign.
Right, go ahead.
And princes decree justice.
Why is that? Because the Most High puts them in their places over the nations he wants. Okay? He's the one that's calling the shots. Yahweh. That's why he can say, okay, Abram, you're going to be the father of many nations. Why? Think of this as like a person writing a story. You watching a movie. He's the author of all this, and he has the power to put everything in place. You can go back to Genesis. Just want to prove that point. The Most High, he's like in front of like a easel. He's writing everything. And what he's writing, that becomes our reality. So you can understand. So people say, that Bible, that's just words. Yeah, but he turned the words into reality. Okay, that's when you got power. You write something and it actually happens. When you go, you don't have to go there. When you go to 2 Chronicles 18 and 18, it gives you a picture, a spiritual picture of the Most High. He's on the throne. And who's around him? His staff, the angels. They got angels on the left hand. Those are the negative angels or demons. That's Matthew's 25:41. And he has angels on the right side. Those are the positive angels. Yahweh Shai is sitting on where? His right hand. That's Psalms 110 and 1. So when you picture the Most High sitting on the throne and the world is in front of him, okay, these angels, y'all take care of that. You get that. Remember, the angels, they control the tempo of everything. Most High puts it in order, but the angels, they have their job. Okay, I don't want to get sidetracked because you know I get sidetracked in a second. Where you at?
I'm at Genesis 17, and I'm going to read 6 again.
Okay.
And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Right, and he backs it up. Why? You just read it in Proverbs. He makes kings and princes and rulers and nations. And when nations go to war, he's the one that starts the war, controls the war, and finishes the war. And if you want to get technical, he knows beforehand how many people are going to get killed and who the people are. That's how bad he is. Go ahead.
7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee.
Right. So, in other words, the Most High is telling this man, he's up in age now. Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to establish power. You are going to benefit from it. Your seed is going to be part of that power. They're going to rule this planet Earth. He's up in age. His wife is up in age. They're looking at each other like, are you kidding me? They don't say that to the Most High. They say that to themselves. Okay. And then when you read it, you say, how is all this happening with just two people? That's the power of the Most High. Go ahead.
Okay, 8. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. And the Most High said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant between thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. 10. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Stop. Now, I'm going to speed this up a bit because this, I don't want to miss anything. That's why I want to speed it up. You have Abram. Now he's Abraham. Why? The covenant is established. He has a son, Ishmael. There's a 13-year difference between Ishmael and Isaac. Okay, at this point, Isaac's not born yet. Ishmael is the eldest son. The eldest son gets everything according to the laws. But the Most High is doing this. He do what he want to do. It tells you that in Isaiah 55, 8, and 9. He tells you clearly, I do what I want to do. No one tells me what to do. Now, all you black men and you women, you caught up in Islam and all that other stuff, forget it. The reason why y'all got caught up in that was to get away from mainstream religion because it seemed more militant than the Baptist church and the Catholic church and everything else. Forget that. Israel wasn't established at that point. That came out in like the mid 60s. You guys joined Islam back in the 50s, and you held on to it. Some of you held on to it ever since. Islam ran out of gas. Okay, all of that ran out of gas. It started with the 5%ers that ran out of gas. Ansar Allah community that ran out of gas, and you got the Nation of Islam that ran out of gas. Okay, they tried to hook up with Scientology. That ran out of gas. Everything ran out of gas except what? The Hebrew Israelites. Why? That's part of the Bible. It was going to come out in the end. We're obviously in the end right now. That's why it's coming out the way it's coming out. Full force. All that other stuff, leave it alone. You went through that. What does Islam offer you? Them Arabs, the so-called Arabs over there in the Middle East pushing that, they're not even the seed of Ishmael. Those are Edomites. They different than the Edomites running around here in America and in Europe, but they still Edomites. White men with rags around their head, pumping that oil, getting rich. I know some people getting their feelings hurt, but guess what? It's time for Israel to wake up. Remember, in Israel, only 1/3 gonna make it. There's gonna be a lot of sorry people and hurt and killed and left behind. A lot 2/3. You know what 2/3 is? We ain't talking about a couple of hundred. We talking millions of people. They're not gonna make it. Now is the time for you to get right. Get this Bible. Put the Quran away. Quran carries no weight at all. When they look for a prophecy, all religions turn to what? The Bible. Even Farrakhan, when he talking about prophecy, ain't that Quran pushed to the side and he pull out that Bible? Every time. Hey, he made his money with the Quran and that Islam stuff. He has to keep pushing that. Most of his people left him. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Bible right now. You was in the 10th verse, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm ready to do the 11.
Okay, now I want to speed it up some.
Okay.
Get me wait a second. Come over to the 13th verse.
Genesis 17 and verse 13. He that is born in thy house and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised.
Stop. To show you how the laws are, you can't take the law lightly. The covenant was established with not Abraham. His name was switched to Abraham after the covenant was established. It has so much validity to it. Everybody under his roof had to abide by the laws. Everybody. He had servants, he had slaves, he had everybody in the house. They were male. You have to go by the law. You must be circumcised. Does that mean they're going to be on the same level as Abraham? No. They're under his roof. Anything under his roof has to go by the law. Male or female. Laws that deal with the men, laws that deal with the women have to be obeyed. Because what? If not, it's on whose hands is it on? Abraham. You in charge of your house. The Most High bless you with a house. That house better be run by the rules that the Most High set up. To make a long story short. Okay? All his servants, his men servants, had to be what? Circumcised. Now, they wasn't circumcised from birth, obviously. So you have to be what? Circumcised. If you just coming in, you have to be circumcised on the 8th day. These are old men. And some in their 20s or whatever they are, who the house servants. You must obey the Most High's laws. Israel or non-Israel. Go ahead.
Okay. Genesis 17, verse 13. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people.
Right, and that's talking about Israelites at that point. They ain't talking about the heathens. The heathens have to be circumcised. Why? Because they belong to Abraham. Give an example how the law works. We in the kingdom, you have some people that are not Israelites. If they're at the Passover, they're not going to be sitting up front with the Hebrews. They may be way in the back, but they're still in the area. The only ones that can do that are the ones that you bought with money. Because people say, oh, look, the Lord's having a service. We're all followers of Christ. We can all go there. No, you're not. It's for Israel only. That's what you got to understand. Everybody always talking about, I want to be in that exclusive club. I got to wear designer clothes. That makes me special. All that stuff is garbage. Here's what's special. You Israel. That goes beyond the clothes and the cars and the neighborhoods and the certain zip codes. You Israel. I don't care if you homeless and you pushing a shopping cart collecting bottles. That's just your punishment down here. But the bottom line is you Israel. You was given laws. You got to follow them laws. I know it's kind of cloudy now, but the Most High going to clear it up real soon. Keep watching the news. Everybody gonna dance to the music. Okay? Everybody. It's starting right here with Abraham. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He had broken my covenant. 15. And the Most High said unto Abraham, As for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be.
Right. The reason why her name is Sarah is why? Because the covenant was established between Abram and Sarai to Abraham and Sarah, the same people. But the covenant was established in them. Abraham. Okay.
Good point.
Okay.
But Sarah shall her name be. 16. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her.
Right. He already had a son. His son was who? Ishmael. So everyone said, oh, we're Ishmael's seed because we're Arabic. And then on top of that, they done made their own God now. Yahweh is the one that's giving them all this. How did Allah fit into the equation? Where he came from? See what I'm saying? Yahweh is dealing with Abraham. How Allah gonna deal with Ishmael? Explain that one to me. See, y'all got caught up in the motion of the thing. We black, we militant, we Muslim, we not following all that Uncle Tom Christianity stuff. Guess what? All that stuff is Uncle Tom Christianity, Islamic is crap. The Most High set the laws for his people only. Only. Not for everybody. That started with the Catholic Church, where everybody is followers of Christ. That don't hold water with the Most High. All this is going to come out. The Most High going to bring it out. But we dealing with these black men and women caught up in that Islamic stuff, which ran out of gas. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Genesis 17 and verse 17. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear?
Right. The Most High love a challenge. Don't nobody love a challenge more than the Most High. That puts him in the best mood. Go ahead.
18. And Abraham said unto the Most High, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
Right. So in other words, they wanted Ishmael to get some of this. It's not for Ishmael. It's not for Ishmael. Who's it for? It's for Isaac. Okay, now let's get that part. Bear with me 1 second. No, keep reading. It gets to that.
Right. Okay, 19. And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
Right. So now Ishmael is on the scene for how long? About there's a 13-year difference between Ishmael and Isaac. And by law, he can say, listen, Ishmael's the oldest. He's supposed to inherit everything. Y'all seem to be forgetting something. The Most High is in this. And ain't nobody more heavy-handed than the Most High. He tell you point blank, no. It's not Ishmael. It's Isaac. Everybody following Islam, their top man is who? Ishmael, the father of who? Abraham. And when Muslims will tell you, Abraham is the father of many nations. Yeah, you're right. But let's get technical. When he's Abraham, And you reading this when he gets to the point where he's called to Abraham, Ishmael got one foot out the door and another one on a banana peel. Okay, when he was Abram, that's when it was his father. But when it became Abraham, the covenant's established. Ishmael's on his way out as far as importance. You're not going to get rid of him. Get rid of him. It's just you not in a position of power. The Most High is one that wielding power and telling who's going to have power. We showed you that in Proverbs. Okay. Now read that part again.
Okay.
Just the last part.
Verse 19. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant.
Isaac, not Ishmael, Isaac.
And with his seed after him.
Right. And Isaac's seed after him was who? Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so when you see all these Arabs out there and they got all the multiple wives, and the wives, they in order, and everybody dripping in gold and diamond, and you look at their house, you got marble floors and you got air conditioning, and look at places like Dubai. They said, man, this is like heaven on earth. No. All this is there because what? We broke the Most High's laws and he raised up the other nations around us. What you see is temporary. When you watch the news, even I don't care what kind of a skeptic you are, you have to say, this can't last much longer. Look at what goes on the news. All nations are doing what? Get me Genesis 15, verses 12 to 14 real quick. Here's what you got to understand. We broke the Most High's laws. The Most High got mad at us. That's Lamentations 2, chapter 5, verses 1 through 6. It tells you he got mad at us. He cursed us. Everything that he built for us, he took it away and cursed it. And you go to Deuteronomy 28. Those are all the curses from 15 all the way down to 68. Those are all the curses hitting us one after another. Guaranteed. When you get to 68, that's the clincher. From 63 to 68. We're going to be following other gods and other nations and getting our behind whip every day. Then we're going to wind up on the slave ships, where we wind up here in America and in the Caribbean. Okay, they had breeding farms. That's how we wound up in the four corners of the earth. That was the second time. The first time we wound up in four corners of the earth, that's in Luke 21:24. When Jerusalem fell and they took everything we had. They took our records, our documents. Amalek came in and they took our identity. They became us. And they sold us to different nations right there on the spot. That's how we got to the four corners of the earth the first time. And then the second time, you read in Joel, the 3rd chapter, when it talks about the boy became a harlot, that was talking about the breeding farms. Okay. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Read.
Genesis 15 and verse 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge.
Right. This is the Most High. When the Most High says something, it's as good as done when he finishes. Why? The angels take care of it from there. Go ahead.
And afterward shall they come out with great substance, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the 4th generation, they shall.
Hold on. Where you at?
I'm at Genesis 15, 16. You wanted Genesis 15,
I want Genesis
14.
I want Genesis 15, verses 12, 13,
Okay.
and 14.
Okay, Salakia. Genesis 15, verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him.
Right, he's being shown the future of Israel. Go ahead.
13. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
Right. This is leading up to Deuteronomy 28 chapter, the 68th verse. Because see, here's what people get mixed up. Now, you can look at all the videos we have in House of David. Brother Benjamin, can't get that name out. Bunyamin. He did a show explaining when we was in Egypt, because people say, oh, we was in Egypt 400 years and this, that. No. Get the video, look it up, get the video. The brother explains it step by step by step. It's not complicated. We were slaves in Egypt for what? 80 years. It started when Moses was a baby, and when he got us out of there, he was 80 years old. That's the only time we was in slavery in Egypt. The other times we were free. Now, when it says 400 years of bondage, that's talking about here, the spiritual Egypt, America, from 1619 to 2019. They even talk about that now. Trump made a comment about 400 years in America. Now, if he know, y'all should definitely know. They letting you know. All that talking nonsense in the background, there's a Bible. And somebody, part of the elite, they're looking at that Bible and they're looking at that clock. Their time is over. Read it.
Okay. 14. I'll read 13 again. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
Right. 400 years where? Right here in America. Mm-hmm. When you look at the most slave pictures and our people in the ships, they chained down. That's Bible prophecy. See, here's what you got to understand. The Bible is telling you what's going to happen, and as it's happening, the people in charge, they don't want you reading this Bible. Why do you think the Bible got so many different translations? To cause confusion and soften the blow. See, that's not talking about you people. That's talking about something else. Who came here butt naked, chained down one to another? Us. Mm-hmm. It's telling you in the Bible, it don't fit no other people but us. But what are we doing? We following everything that sounds pretty. The Muslims didn't come over here. And if you really want to know about the Muslims, they was helping with the slave trade. Why? Because you're not their people, and they know that. When you do the research, the shipping companies that brought the slaves over, so-called Jews, they own them shipping companies. The insurance company, because we were products, they insured the cargo. We were the cargo they insured. So-called Jewish people own those companies. Everybody knew who we were. Why? They read the Bible. Excuse me. Excuse me. Why you think they didn't want us reading the Bible? We put one and one together. That's how powerful this book is. Why you think so many books were taken out of the Bible? This is the book. That scripture, you don't have to go there, but write this down on your notes. Isaiah 34:16. Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. What? The Bible. You got people, I did the research on this. Man, put that stuff down and go read the Bible. Do the research on that. It's only going to make you depressed, but guess what? It is what it is. We brought it on ourselves. We got the Most High mad, and he told us what he was going to do for us. Okay. Now, continue.
Okay. 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve.
Stop. I forgot something. When you read 12 and 13, you have to mentally separate between 13 and 14. 12 and 13, that part of prophecy was already completed. We came here, the 400 years is finished from 1619 to 2019. Okay. The debt that the Most High have that we owe, that's been paid. The 400 years, that's over. Now, let's see what the Most High going to do. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve, I will judge.
Stop. When it says that nation, people just say, oh, see, they're talking about America. Yes and no. The reason why I say no, not only America. We were scattered in the four corners of the earth. Okay. Now, when you read Joel, the 3rd chapter, when it talks about the boy was turned into a harlot, that's talking about when they had the breeding farms in the Caribbean. That's how Israel got to the four corners of the earth, like the Most High promised. He promised it twice. The first time in Luke 21:24, when Jerusalem fell in 70 AD, the people came in and they took us. What? We were sold. That's how we got to the four corners of the earth. Now, speed the clock up. The second time, Deuteronomy 28, the slave trade. We didn't just go just to America and that's it. No, we went all over. Remember, the nations of the earth were getting the children of Israel as slaves. Remember, everybody knew who we were at that point. That was like a status symbol. You know who I got back there? Who? Israelites. Yeah. They had us do all kind of weird freak stuff because it said, we're going to get you. You the Lord's people? All right, we're going to see. Guess what we're going to do for you? And they did all kind of vile things to us. That's part of the punishment for the 400 years. Then the Most High comes back. Remember, we his chosen people. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for you. What you did to my people. Remember, the Most High, he had to punish us. We his chosen. He was mad, but he had to punish us. We went too far. But he got something for the people that punished us. Read 14 verse.
14 verse.
Yeah.
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
Stop. Is the Most High judging every the nation that did something to us? Yeah. After the 400 years? Yeah. You looking at it. You got cable news. Look at the news. All this turmoil now. Why is that? The Most High kept his word. After the 400 years will I judge. How does the Most High judge? That scripture where it says he has his eyes on that sinful kingdom. What are the eyes of the Most High? Get me Proverbs 15:3. First, remember that scripture, 2 Chronicles 18:18, where the Most High is in the spirit world on his throne, and he has angels on the left hand and on the right hand. The left are the negative angels, the right is the positive angels. They dispatch where he wants them to go to fulfill certain things. It tells you when he dealt with Israel, he turned his face from Israel, which means what? The negative forces, oh, we're going to get them. And they got us. Okay, read.
Proverbs 15 and verse 3. The eyes of the Most High are in every place. Behold, the evil and the good. And wholesome tongues is a tree of life, but the perverseness therein is a branch in the spirit.
Right. The angels are what? Spirits. Angels are the eyes of the Lord. Angels are spirits. That's Psalms 104:4. So when they said good angels, bad angels, those are what? Spirits. They have a purpose. The bad angels were sent against us. That's when we were down on them slave ship, butt naked, urinating and defecating on each other. That was punishment. That's what them evil angels. They had a feast day with us for a certain amount of time. Now, up until the 400-year mark, guess what? That was finished. So now what's the Most High going to do? He's going to turn evil against all the nations that live deliciously off of us. That's what you see now. I'm not going to get into all of it because, sometimes I might go a little too much into it, but I'm going to keep it basic. When the last time you seen America in the condition it's in now? You got like almost 4 million people from different countries roaming through the streets in every state. It's not just, they got you thinking it's just New York and Chicago. No. They all over the place. They're shipping them. They're putting them in buses and sending them all over. They were sending some to Colorado. Now, how you wound up on the border of this country? You go to New York, now you in Colorado, upsetting that area. Robbing people, stealing people, selling drugs. You got a military. World War III started. You don't have enough troops. You don't have enough volunteers for the military. Why? Majority of kids are on drugs, especially these white kids. There's more of them on drugs than anywhere else. Look at those documentaries they have. One in Seattle is dying. There's another one called Kensington. That's in Philadelphia. These are white kids, teenagers, middle-aged, elderly, drug addicts. Everywhere you go, out in the Midwest, Iowa, why the kids in Iowa are strung out on dope? That's the 14th verse. Afterwards, I will deal with the other nations. When they had the plantations and we was out there working and getting lynched in our back with white people sitting up on them porches with the fanning themselves, looking at all the work they get done, making a fortune off of cotton from the hard work. That's in the area between 12th verse and the 13th verse. Okay, that's the 400 years between the 12th verse and the 13th verse. Now, the 14th verse, that's when the Most High is going to deal with the ones who did this to us. Okay, America is at the top of the list. Every nation right now is on critical right now. Why? World War III has to happen. When you see all these people coming to America, you say, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Don't panic. The Most High mapped everything out. You saw how he mapped everything out dealing with Abraham. From Abram to Abraham, he mapped everything out. The Most High is in charge of this thing. Don't think, well, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that. The Most High got everything in check. Okay? Everything gonna fall in place. When you look at how America's about to fall, it's gonna fall. The 1/3 gonna be taken care of, but it's gonna fall. Are they gonna fight? Of course they're gonna fight. That's where the deliverance takes place. We're gonna be delivered before this place gets totally wiped out. But I don't want to go too far ahead of the thing. America and all the other nations that got rich off of us, made us suffer, they paying for it right now. Those elite behind closed doors, they got Bibles. Their Bibles are on computer. The military has the Bible on computer. They know what areas to stay away from, how it's going to escalate, where everything is going to end. When you type in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, to a person that's not schooled in the Bible, they scratching their head. Now, a few people who understand scriptures, they're going to go to the book of Joel. But Esau with the computers, that's a whole different zone right there. Okay, they got this Bible on computer. They know exactly what's going to happen. They know their Esau. When you go to Genesis, the 6th chapter, it talks about the people hiding in the clefts of the rocks. let's say it's the year 1900. You figure they go on the top of a mountain, speed the clock up to where we are now. That's talking about the silos. If the Bible's not so accurate, explain to me why you got cities underground. From the north to the east, from the north to the south, to the east to the west, you have cities underground with reinforced steel and concrete. In case of what? Nuclear war. When did they build all this? Why was it kept quiet? Why? The Bible. The same book everybody got in their house collecting dust. Now everybody want to dust it off and they're going to read. This Bible is telling you what's going to happen. Now, where was that? Because I got sidetracked.
Okay, that was Proverbs 15 and 3. It went down to 4. I was ready
In
to
what?
go on
In
to
what?
5. Proverbs 15. Talk about the eyes of the Lord.
Oh, yeah,
on
okay.
every
No, I
place.
got that part. It shows you the eyes of the Lord are
Right.
what? The angels, the
Mhm.
spirits. Okay. Now you can go back to Genesis 15. So when they talk about the eyes of the Lord is on the sinful kingdom, that's talking about the angels. The angels are the eyes of the Lord. Okay. I show you how bad the Most High is. He's the one that gave them the power to do all that. It ain't like they gotta tell him what to do. He knows what they're doing. He gave them the power to do what they're doing. It's just all this is for a narrative, to write so we can use this as what? To comfort us in these times. Okay, we're the weary that it's talking about. And this is our comfort, this Bible. And when you sit and watch cable news, it's supposed to put a smile on your face. Everything about what America stands for is being stepped out. Why? Did we serve our punishment? Yeah. Verses 12 and 13. Now we at the 14th verse where the other people, they got to pay their dues. 12 and 13, we the chosen, we paid our dues. Now we at the 14th verse, and you live in it. They had the story of, stop me if I go over too much. They had the cops beat up in it was in Manhattan yesterday.
Times Square, yeah.
Now, this was a regular cop and a police lieutenant. Now, anyone know in the street, you don't bother nobody with a white shirt on. That starts with sergeant and up. You leave them alone. They get on that radio, you're going to have the whole block run over by cops. The cops told these two guys, hey, move it. Come on, let's go. These are the migrants. They beat the hell out them cops. That was caught on video. 2 police officers kicked in the face. They showed them getting kicked in the face and stumped. Now, I'm not sitting there laughing at that because you got to look at the bigger picture. These are part of the couple of million people they brought over here doing this. This thing going to get ugly real quick. Real quick. And if you notice, they didn't shoot them kids. They didn't pull out no gun or no taser. Let me get to the quick part of it. Here's the part you're not picking up on. America is about survival. Okay? All these people they're bringing over here, 2 things are going to happen. A lot of them are Israelites. I'm not saying all of them, no. You got Israelites in part of that group. They're being brought here. Why? Think about it. Why would they be brought here at the end of this thing? Deliverance. When deliverance take place, some of them that are Israel going to be delivered with the people over here. That's going to be delivered. Like I said, I'm not saying all of them. No. No. Some of them are Israelites. They're going to be delivered. Now, that's part 1. Here's the main part right now. What they're going to do with those people, they're going to change the currency. Those people are going to have the jobs that you used to have. They're going to break the unions. You got unions, you got pensions, you got 401ks, you got all this nice retirement thinking you're going to go to the Caribbean. No, you're not. This thing going to crash. They going to get them people. Some states, they're letting them join the military. You join the military, we going to make you a citizen when you get out. And what everybody else going to do? They got you. Other words, this dreamland you had, America, all these years is going to collapse. What does that go back to? The 14th verse. The Most High is going to do what? He's going to judge the people that did his people wrong for those 400 years. You don't have to go to it, but you can write this down in your notes. You go to Jeremiah, the 29th chapter. You read verses 10 to 14. Most High got mad at Israel. It says, I'll see you after 70 years, which means what? That was our sentence. Under who? The Babylonian Empire. Go get the Josephus or look it up on the computer. We was in there for 70 years. And after, what did he do? He delivered Israel, raised Israel up, and destroyed what? The Babylonian Empire. Same thing is happening now. Only thing that was 70 years, this was 400 years. Did he destroy the nation that jacked up Israel for them 70 years? Of course he did. Is he going to destroy this place and all the other nations around the world that had Israelites? Remember, Israel's in the four corners of the earth. All nations are going to fall. Okay. I don't want to get in that too much because I don't want to run out of time.
But that's what this is talking about, the 14th verse.
Okay, now, let's go back to Ishmael and Isaac. Now, the covenant was given to Abram, and when it was established, his name was changed to Abraham. His wife from Sarai to Sarah after the covenant was established. Now, let's go on and prove that the Most High is only dealing with Abraham, Isaac, and Isaac brought who? Esau and Jacob. Esau is not even in the equation. Neither is Ishmael. But let's prove that. Give me Psalms 105. And we can start at the 5th verse.
Psalms 105 and verse 5. Remember his marvelous works that he have done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. He is the Lord our power. He judges, his judgments are in all the earth. He had remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations.
Now go back, start at 5 again.
5. Psalms 105 verse 5. Remember his marvelous works that he hath done,
Slow.
his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. O ye seed of Abraham.
Stop.
His
Seed of Abraham. He didn't say Abram. He said Abraham, which means the covenant was established at that point. Go ahead.
O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen.
Stop. The children of Jacob, right? Isaac had who? Esau and Jacob. Where's Ishmael in this equation? He's not even mentioned. It goes to Abraham, skips Ishmael. You know Isaac is involved because Isaac had who? Esau and Jacob. Ye children of Jacob, his chosen. Jacob became what? The 12 tribes of Israel. Who's left out the equation? Ishmael. That's the father of all you Islamic followers. That nonsense. He's left out of the equation. And who else is left out? Esau. Who's left? Jacob. See, the Most High is like a surgeon. He cutting all the family ties. Yeah, but look, he's the father of many nations. So what? There's only one chosen. There's only one chosen. Read that again.
Okay. Psalms 105 and verse 5. Remember his marvelous works that he hath done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth.
Right, that goes back to Genesis 17. Go ahead.
O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen.
Right, when it says seed of Abraham, they're going to say, look, see that Abraham, that's talking about us. But then it gets specific. Go ahead.
Okay. 7.
Oh, no.
I'll read that again.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it gets real
6,
specific.
verse 6. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant,
Yeah.
ye children of Jacob, his chosen.
Right. You can't get sharper than that. So all you Islamic people talking about, and then they made their own God. That's the part that people sleeping on. How Allah fit in this equation? You made that up. Okay? You made that up. Same with the Quran. The Quran was made up. In the Quran, the book of Cow, verse 122, it's telling you the top nation that's going to exceed all nations is Israel. That's in the Quran. When you see people like Farrakhan talking about prophecy, the Quran, he got to close that and move it over and whip out that what? That Bible, which shows you shouldn't have been open in the first place. What you doing with the Quran? All that is confusion. The book is the Bible. Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. Not the book of Allah, because that's a bunch of nonsense. That's total nonsense. Because when you look at the Arabs, they follow the laws of who? The Hebrews. Don't they get circumcised? Yeah. Do they not eat pork? They don't eat pork. Everybody else, they live on pork. They follow the laws of who? Abraham. They just wasn't given a chance to share the covenant. That wasn't for them. Okay, you got linkage to Abraham, but that's where it stops. The covenant don't deal with y'all. You should read that part again. 6.
Yeah, verse 6. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen.
His chosen. That sounds biased to me. Go ahead.
7. He is the Lord power. His judgments are in all the earth.
Right. Now, when it says the judgments in all the earth, they're showing you what we gonna have, and at the same time, it's showing you what the rest of y'all not gonna have. That's part of the judgment. Yeah, but we brothers. Ishmael and Isaac, they brothers. So what? Most High made them. And he set the rules and the boundaries. They can't be changed, and they're going to be made public. Everyone on earth is going to know what we're talking about right now. Not because of us. We nobodies. The Bible. The elite, slowly but surely, all this is leaking out. The Bible. Go ahead.
Okay. 8. He had remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations.
You know how long 1,000 generations is? Go ahead.
9. Which covenant he made with Abraham.
Go ahead.
And his oath unto Isaac.
Now, where's Ishmael in this equation? He ain't even mentioned. And he was there first. He's the eldest. He's supposed to have everything in the suitcase ready to go. What the Most High did, Isaiah 55:8-9. I do what I want to do. How you gonna tell the Most High what to do? You gonna throw the laws in front of the Most High? Are you kidding me? He took a man 100 years old and a wife 99 years old and gave her a healthy child. Even they didn't believe it when they was told what was going to happen. And when you people walk around now, we don't have much. Why? We coming out of punishment. The whole world's going to look at us and they're going to bow their head. Why? Because they know they got a debt to pay. They paying it. Every nation on this earth is crippled right now. America, crippled. How you walking around, what's it, 3 million now? 3 million people in your country. They in a position where they can make or break this country. They beating up cops in broad daylight on video, but yet they don't get arrested. How you kicking a police lieutenant in the head on video? Kick them in the head
and don't get arrested.
And when you do get arrested, there's no charges against
you. You let go.
Right, they let you go. And here's the wild part: both of them got guns, but they didn't shoot nobody. That's what the people sleeping on. You know why? Because they got plans for these people. They're gonna break your unions. You got pensions, that's gone. Your 401k, that's gone. They're gonna use them to replace the work that you had. That's how the Most High turning this whole place upside down. You can't get a teacher to keep a job. She said, man, hell with that crap. I ain't working as no teacher. You think you don't have teachers and them hordes of people coming over here? They're going to give them a job. What about nursing? You get nurses making them, at this point, after the COVID-19, some of them making up to $50 an hour. Now, these people coming over here, you think they're not going to give them the same job at $4 or $5 an hour and they won't take it? They get more money from the government and Social Security than the people who work here and live here getting Social Security. They getting food stamps. They getting Metro cards. They getting everything. Why you think they're giving these people all this stuff? This is America. Tightest security on the planet. But 3 million people just happen to slip through the cracks. No. They're going to use these people for something. When you read about what happened in Egypt, when Israel was going to be delivered, same thing going to happen here. These are plagues. Plagues. And you live in it. Instead of you panicking and start drinking and, what's going to happen? Oh, the world's going to... No. This is our deliverance. Right now, we are living a Bible story. That's what y'all got to pick up on. We live in a Bible story in real time. Look on the net. Brothers breaking down the scriptures. Write it down. You got questions? Contact House of David. Somebody will answer. Now is the time to do what? Repent. Look up scriptures on repentance. Write them down. Here's what you can do. It goes for everybody. Think of all the evil you did. Write it down on a piece of paper. And ask repentance for every single thing you did. Don't leave nothing out. Don't leave nothing out. The Most High got the door open for you to get your act together. You have any doubt? Simple. Turn on the TV and look at CNN or MSNBC or BBC News. Out there in the desert where Ishmael lived, they got rivers. What used to be the desert, they got rivers. Earthquakes in Japan. You got snow snowstorms in California. Why is all this going on? Genesis 15, 12 and 13 completed. Now we live in 14. The Most High is what? Judging this place. Okay? The angels are running wild right now. When you see somebody go to a store, they waiting in line and they say, oh, they got so mad to wait. They pull out a knife and stab the cashier or take out a gun and start shooting everybody online. Those are what? Those are negative angels. They get in people and make them do crazy stuff. You got to read this Bible. When you read place in Ezekiel 9th chapter, the angels are told, go out and kill everyone that doesn't have the mark of those that sigh and cry for the Most High and the Lord's. Those are the evil angels. When you hear stories of people just going wild and start killing everybody, that's Bible prophecy. If you ain't on that list for the Most High, that sighing and crying for the laws and statutes to be brought back and try and live a decent, clean life, the angels, the negative angels, they'll leave you alone. But the other people around that's waiting to see how this gonna go, they're gonna be killed. And you're gonna actually see this, see stories. You might even live through some of it. Remember, it's in the Bible. Okay, now we finished with Psalms. What you did the 10th verse?
Do the 10th verse now. And confirm the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant.
That means forever. We're going to be the Most High chosen people forever.
That's right.
It didn't mention Ishmael. Let me speed it up some because I don't want to miss nothing. Get me 2nd Ezra, 5th chapter, verse 27. I'll have to speed this up some.
The 5th chapter and what?
A 27 verse.
Okay.
When this part right here is where the Most High explained his favorite things. His favorite river is what? The Jordan. His favorite flower is the lily. His favorite bird is what? The dove. For those of you who don't know, yeah, but the dove is white. They got nothing to do with the dove being white. Okay, with Noah, they sent the bird out. The first one they sent was what? A raven. Came back empty-handed. Then he sent the second one out, was a dove, and it came back with what? A branch. And that's the same symbol they use for the UN. It comes from where? The Bible. That's his favorite bird. Now, see what else is the Most High's favorite. Read.
2nd Ezra 5 and verse 27. And among all the multitudes of people, thou hast gotten thee one people, and unto this people, whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is above all.
Stop. What law did he give us when you read the Bible? The Bible was, the word Bible comes from the word Biblos, collection of books. That dealt with who? Israel. It wasn't for everybody, it's for Israel. I'm not going to go on that now. That'll be another topic. All these churches that were set up, Esau set them churches up. The word religion comes from the word religio, which means to regulate. They use religion to control the people. That Bible don't deal with nothing but Israel. That's all. We were given the laws. When Abraham was given the covenant, he had to get his house in order. All his servants was what? People from other nations. They had to do what? Get circumcised. But it started with who? Abraham. It starts with Israel. The laws, everything in the Bible is pointed at who? Israel, not everybody. That'd be another topic. Go ahead.
Okay. 10. And confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. 11. Saying unto, oh, I'm sorry. You wanted Ezra's?
Yeah, that was the one you had, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now Ishmael ain't in that. He's nowhere in that equation. Now, give me Genesis 17 again. Start the 18th verse.
Okay. Genesis 17 and 18. Genesis 17 and verse 18. And Abraham said unto the Most High, oh, that Ishmael might live forever, let live before thee. And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him
Right.
for an everlasting covenant.
Right. It's telling you Isaac. And Isaac had who? Esau and Jacob. Ishmael don't fit the equation. Nowhere near it. Okay, what verse you in?
I'm in 19.
Go ahead.
And I will establish my covenant with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold.
Hold it. Ishmael, go ahead.
And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget.
Right. He got 12 sons. Esau had 12 sons, and Jacob had 12 sons. This is the Most High's handiwork. He lets you know this has his signature on it. As for Ishmael, when it says as for, that means you hear that music where you're not going to get what you thought you was going to get. Go ahead.
Okay, read that again. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him.
That means you're going to be let down softly. Go ahead.
And will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
That's all you're going to get. Go ahead.
But my covenant will I establish with Isaac.
Isaac, which leads to what? Jacob, which leads to what? The 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead.
Which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time.
Right.
In the next year.
Oh, Sarah, we talking about a woman that's 99 years old going to give birth to a healthy child that's going to do what? The top nation on the planet. And the husband's 100. What does that tell you? That's the Most High right there. He likes challenges. Go ahead.
22.
No, that's it. I just wanted that.
Okay.
Now get me yeah, you get 22.
Okay.
Yeah, go get 22.
And he left off talking with him, and the Most High went up from Abraham.
Right. He said what he had to say. It was law. It's established, and that's it. There's no compromise with the Most High. You can't have somebody, yeah, but Ishmael, he's the elders, and whatever. First of all, you won't get that far talking to the Most High. Once he says that's it, that's it. Go ahead.
23. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day.
Right, that's talking about the law. Because see, once it's established who you are, who you working for, you got the covenant, you gotta obey that law. Go ahead.
As the Most High had said unto him. 24. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. 25. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. 26. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house.
Right, everybody had to get in order. Go ahead.
Born in the house, and bought with money of the stranger
Which
was
shows ownership. Go ahead.
was circumcised with him. All right, chapter 18. And the Lord appeared unto Abraham in the plain of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself towards the ground and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray thee, be fetched and wash your feet.
What verse is that?
That's 4.
4.
18 and 4. I'm in chapter 18 now.
Wait. You know, it's supposed to be in chapter 17. Not
Okay,
14.
well, that was the end of 17.
Okay, then that's it for
Okay.
that. You did 27, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
27 was when all the strangers in the house that were brought were circumcised.
okay, now, here's the thing. Ishmael is not the chosen. It's showing you that. It was given to who? Isaac. Now the question is, where did Allah come from? Get 2nd Ezra 6th chapter, start the 1st verse.
Okay.
Allah was something that was made up.
2nd Ezra 6 and what?
Start the 1st verse.
Okay. 2nd Ezra in Apocrypha 6 and verse 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or even the winds blew.
Right, the Most High is bragging, not bragging, he's boasting. That sounds better. Why? Because he can boast. Why? Because he can deliver. Go ahead.
It's like
2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 1.
Yeah, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 1. Salakia. This thing is not working right. 6 and verse 1. I don't know why it's not showing. Okay, 6 and verse 1. Okay, and he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or even the winds blew, behold, it thundered and lightened, or even the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitudes of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up.
Right. All is before anything was established. Who was there? The Most High. Why? He made this stuff. When you go look up at the clouds, you have different levels. Who you think put all that in order? When you read these stories about the people when they go deep sea diving, when you go down, you can only go down but so far. But when you come up, you just can't come back up to the surface. You have to come up in different levels and stop. The pressure in your body has to equalize. Then you come up another level. Stop. If you come straight up, you'll be killed from the pressure. Who designed all this? The Most High. It tells you that in Genesis, the 1st chapter. Most High made all this. Wasn't no Allah. That's some crap Ishmael started. Go ahead.
Okay, verse 4. Or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the cherubim, cherubims in Zion were hot, and and error, the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed, that have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone.
Right. He's telling you who did it, and he didn't have no partners.
Mhm.
Okay. So when you read all this stuff about Islamic this and Islamic that and all that, and they got them saying Allah's a great and merciful one. Come on, man, that's nonsense. The Most High is the one that orchestrated everything. Okay, what verse you in?
In 6.
Read that.
Finish
Read start at 6
6.
again. Where it said he
Then did
established.
I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone.
Me alone. The Most High Yahweh did that alone. He didn't have no help. He didn't have no assistant. Okay. Now
Let
you
me
see
finish that one.
huh?
Let me finish that one.
All right.
And through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. That's that.
Okay. Now, when you see like these Muslims, they have these little these beads. There's 33 of them on the thing. They have to say Allah's this and Allah's that, and by the end of it, 3 times they're supposed to give Allah praise, which comes to 99 times per day.
Wow.
Okay, that's based on nonsense. And you black men running around, you with the kufi on, and you got this doing the prayer, giving props to Allah. That's a waste of time, and that's blasphemy, and you're gonna have to pay for that. That stuff ain't real. The covenant was established with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It shows you that in Psalms 105. Ishmael don't factor in. Okay. Everything dealing with this Islamic stuff ain't got nothing to do with you. Muslims didn't come over here on slave ships. Israelites came on slave ships. When you go check out the records, a lot of these Arabs, the ones you like so much, they don't even like black people. Only reason why they dealt with Farrakhan was to give Esau a headache. They know he ain't no Muslim. Part of the law of Israel, you have to have a beard on your face. You seen the beard on Farrakhan? No. They use that scripture, Jacob was a smooth man. When it talks about Jacob was a smooth man, that means he didn't have body hair like Esau. That's what it's talking about. It didn't mean he had a smooth face and a bald head. Get me Leviticus 19:27. Because you're supposed to make sure before you die, if you Muslim, that you did the pilgrimage. You made it to Mecca. And when you did, what they do is they have like a orange dye. They put it in their beard. That's to show proof that they did the pilgrimage. Now, how come Farrakhan don't have that? He's like what, almost 90, and you didn't make your trip to Mecca because you're supposed to prove you made your trip to Mecca by having that orange tint in your beard. And you see all these Muslims running around with like an orange beard. You think they're trying to be like punk movement? No, not that. That's to show that they made the pilgrimage to Mecca before they died. Go ahead, get that.
Okay, Leviticus 19:27.
Right.
Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Of the what?
Beard.
Beard. When it talks about of the head, that's someone not supposed to get a shape up. When you go to the barber shop, they can cut and they can trim and everything, but they don't have to shape up the front and leave the back alone. You don't have to mar the corners of your beard. You're supposed to have a beard on your face. Farrakhan, where's your beard? God's in the FOI, where's your beards? Now, did they have to follow the law? Of course they did. In Genesis 17, didn't they have to get circumcised? That's part of the law. This is part of the law. You can't pick and choose which law you're going to deal with the Most High. And give me 28 since we're there. Because I see so many people in Israel violate this law. It's like it wasn't even written. Especially the females, get that.
Verse 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you.
That's talking about tattoos, people. You're not supposed to have tattoos. You join these little fraternities and do all that freak stuff, and you get the tattoos, and they cut you they cut pieces of your body off. You thinking it's cute? You gotta pay for that. That's going against the laws of the Most High. I don't know. You're gonna learn one way or another. So that part about you have the little beads when you saying prayers and giving props to Allah, and you got to touch a bead, then another bead. It has 33 beads on it. So you're supposed to do this 3 times in the course of a day, which means you're giving props to Allah 99 times per day. That's for the other nations, people. Idolatry is for the other nations. It's not for Israel. Before we close out, I want to prove that.
That sounds like that Catholic rosary.
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. Because it's all made up. Because the woman that they follow that is Fatima. And Fatima was also one of the daughters of Muhammad. Do your research, people. Do your research. You following something because it sounds good. Okay. Get me Becca, 2nd chapter. We're gonna and start the 18th verse.
Habakkuk 2:18.
Yeah.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 18. What profited the graven image that the maker thereof had graven it?
Right. That's going back to them beads. You see them, like I'm in the car sometime with the cab drivers. I don't say anything to them for 2 reasons. One, they not Israel, and 2, they behind the steering wheel. How you gonna get somebody mad driving the car? Do that make sense? They sit there,
right?
They got the beads in there, and they got the Islamic this and Islamic that. I just sit back and just smile and say, yeah, okay. You can get away with that. You're not Israel. The laws don't apply to you. They apply to me. And the Most High woke me up. That's the blessing. Okay. They got the beads and they got the Islamic this and they got the prayer cloth and they doing all that. To Allah, which is something that was made up. Shows you that in 2nd Ezra, 6th chapter. In the 6th verse, it says, I alone did all this. That's the Most High. Okay. No, I don't want to get distracted on that. Where was I?
Okay, in the 18th verse.
Good.
The graven image, the maker of the graven image.
Okay, let's get that. I don't want to get distracted. Go ahead.
The molten image and a teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols.
Right, dumb idols. When you read, it's in I think it's in this passage. When you read Deuteronomy 28, you go from 63 to 68. It says gods of wood and gods of stone. Gods of wood, talking about the cross, Christianity. That's something that was made up. Hold that. Get me Acts 11:26. 11:26. Wait.
What we call Christians first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Acts 11, verse 26. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first.
Stop. What does Christian mean? Followers of Christ. Christianity were followers of Christ. And who was that talking about? The literal followers of Christ, which were who? The disciples. So when they started this church thing, they took bits and pieces from whose history? Israel. You set up a cross, right? You ain't got to go there, but you can write this down. Galatians 3:13. Curses he that's on the cross. Who was on the cross that was cursed? Yahushua. Then they say, oh, Christ wasn't cursed. Yes, he was. He absorbed all our sins. Okay. He had to go through that. That was the curse that he had to go through. So now for Christianity, this symbol is what? The cross. And it's made out of what? Wood. So now you say, see, we're all Christians. All that stuff was made up. It's telling you right there, who were the Christians? The disciples.
God.
Who were literal what? Followers of Christ. It's like almost an inside joke. Everything you see deals with Israel. The other nations had nothing. We're going to prove that. The Most High gave them nothing. He gave it to us. Here's what's going to happen. Here's the game plan. We're going to go through the ups and downs. This is the last down we're going through. When everything gets in order, it's like a pyramid. The Most High going to have Israel on top, and the other nations are going to benefit afterwards. When it says in the Bible, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, that's when Israel is in order and doing what they're supposed to do. We at the bottom of the food chain now, and everything still revolves around us. Music, who does it revolve around? Us. They had to steal the music and change the name of it. Dance, sports, everything revolves around who? The people at the bottom of the what? The food chain, Israel. What you think gonna happen when the Most High puts us on top where he wants us to be? But first, we have to go through this. Okay, you finished that?
Yeah. God.
Give me this is the clincher right here. Give me Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, start the 15th verse. So when you see Ishmael, and there's another thing when you do documentaries to show you how backwards them Arabs are. These are people with billions of dollars in the bank. Guess what? When they eat, look at the way they eat. They don't use utensils. They use their hands. How you worth $1 billion, got 15 Bentleys and Jaguars and Maseratis and everything expensive? You sitting down to plate of food with your fingers, grabbing food, squeezing it, and eating it like a savage. I seen that. You think I'm making this up? Y'all got computers, punch it up. These are royal families eating with their hands. Hamites do that. I see that all the time. 125th Street, the Head Braden place. They sit outside. They got a plate. They got one plate. 4 different people eating off the same plate. Now, what kind of nonsense is that? 4 people eating off the same plate. They grab a handful of rice, squeeze it, and then they eat it. You can laugh if you want to. They got more things than what you got. They not cursed. We curse. The curses you see these heathens in the street doing this nonsense, but they got a house, they got a car, and their kids is in top schools. Okay? Now, let's get that before the time run out.
Okay, Deuteronomy 4, verse 15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves.
Tell me when you get to 19. Go ahead.
Okay. For ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb, out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female.
Right. This is dealing with the other nations. Okay. Every nation that wasn't Israel had what? Idols. Like sometimes I'm sitting in my doctor's office, educated woman. She's Elam. What do I see around there? Elephants. That lady with the different arms and all that other nonsense. That's idols. I don't say nothing. Why? That's not my place to say nothing. I'm just happy that I know better. That's her thing. Fine. I'm part of the chosen. But guess what? I'm not at the peak where I'm supposed to be yet. It's coming with the deliverance. And hopefully I'll be part of that group. Don't think like you got to RSVP to the kingdom. You ain't there yet. Okay, it's up to the Most High. But when you see these other nations, look at what they got. When you in a cab with some of these Arabs and everybody else, look at all the idols on the dashboard. They believe in that stuff. And don't get in no argument with them about that. That's not using wisdom. You see it, you're reading in the scriptures, the Most High is showing you what they are given and what you are given. Go ahead.
17. The likenesses of any beast that is on the earth.
Stop. When you read about, give an example, the Persian Empire, what did they have? It was called the Griffith. It was a lion with eagle's wings. That was their symbol for the Persians. All these other nations, they have what? Animals. Indians, they have the woman with the 6 arms. They got the elephants. They got all this other stuff that they have. When you look at the temples that they have in India, how you got a temple and 1 million rats running around it and you giving them milk and food? What kind of nonsense is that? But they way ahead of us. They got an army, a navy, a country. They got more gold than almost any other nation other than China. Look at the Chinese. Look how backwards they are. All these people are over us. Why? We broke the laws. But look at them. When you read this Bible should be like a pair of glasses when you look at people. Yeah, he got a Bentley. Yeah, he live in a nice zip code. Yeah, the cops don't humiliate him the way they humiliate us. But we the chosen. We finished verse 12 in chapter 15, Genesis, verse 12 and 13. We finished that. We moved on to 14. We're living 14 right now. That's what you got to understand. When you see all the stuff that's out here, you're living a Bible story right now. Okay, read.
Okay, 17. The likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air.
Right. When they show you the angels, right? Like in them Bible books, angels are little white naked babies. Now, what kind of nonsense is that? Angels are spirits. And when you see them coming in like, oh, they're little babies, it gives you the impression that they grew up to be adults. No, they don't. I'm not gonna go there because I don't want to take away from this. But you can write this on your notes. Angels, the Most High makes angels. That's Psalms 148, verses 1 through 6. That's how angels get here. The Most High makes them. And you can go to 1 Corinthians 15, and 40. It talks about bodies celestial and bodies terrestrial. Okay, bodies celestial are angels. I just gave you that one. Psalms 148, verses 1 through 6. That's how angels get there. The Most High makes them. Angels are spirits. Okay. Now, bodies terrestrial, those are people. Where do you go for that? Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, verses 1 through 7. Everything walking this earth came from the seed of a man and mixed with the egg of a woman. When they talk about the Virgin Mary, oh, that was a miracle. Oh, it was a miracle. No, she was a vessel that Yahweh Shai came from. Christ was the miracle. How was he the miracle? Write this down. Romans 8 and 3. Christ was the miracle. Why? Because he was the first and only one that conquered sin in the flesh. That was the miracle. That was never done before. And you can add this to that. When they talk about immaculate conception, that kills that. And by the way, that's one of the books that was taken out of the Bible by the Catholic Church, since they like to push immaculate conception. But to show you Christ was what? Born of a man's seed and a woman's egg, you can go to Hebrews 7:14. It said Christ came out of what? The tribe of Judah. To come out of the tribe of Judah, you had to do what? A man's seed and a woman's egg. It's like checks and balances. Everything got to balance out. Let me help you up because I don't want to run out of time.
Okay.
What verse you was
I'm
in?
at 18 now.
Go ahead.
The likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, and the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth.
Right. So they're showing you all these symbols that they got for different religions. That's nonsense. And it don't apply to Israel. Go ahead. It's going to clarify itself.
19.
That's the one I want. This verse right here.
Okay. And lest thou lift up thine eyes upon unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon.
Right. You got people that worship the moon, they worship the stars. In this country, they got people worshiping the moon at nighttime when they naked. Now, what kind of nonsense is that? You worshiping the moon, the sun, and the stars. Here's the problem. You worshiping the creation, not the creator. Most High ain't having that. He got to get the props. He created the moon, the sun, and the stars. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy power had divided unto all nations.
Stop. He divided that among who? The
all
nations. The nations. Go ahead.
Under the whole heaven. But the Lord had taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day.
Okay, with that, I'm going to wrap that up. I'm finished. And I hope you learned something.